Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to rationalize denominators when you have complex numbers. So let's say you're given this problem, and often they'll say divide or possibly simplify. And so we need to rationalize the denominator because recall that I, this little guy right here, and we've got an I up here, recall that I means square root of -1, and we don't like to have square roots in the denominator, so that's why we need to rationalize. Now a lot of times when we rationalize and we have a single item here, we just multiply by that thing over itself, and that takes care of it. But the problem is if we do that kind of multiplication, if we multiply this by itself, it's going to give us something that still has I in it. How do we get rid of that? We multiply by what's called the conjugate, and that is simply 1 plus 3i. So all we're doing is we're changing the sign there. And of course we have to multiply things by 1 to make them stay the same. So that's what our multiplication is going to be. So we're going to multiply these just using FOIL. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 3i is positive 18i. 2i times 1 is 2i plus, and then 2i times 3i is going to be 6i squared. And then in the denominators, we're going to, when we multiply these together, it's a difference of squares. So recall that that will cancel out the middle term. But I'll show you how that works just so we can convince ourselves. So 1 times 1 will be 1. 1 times positive 3i, positive 3i. Negative 3i times that 1, negative 3i. And then negative 3i times positive 3i will be negative 9i squared. So we see that these terms do cancel out. And for our next step, we're going to take it to a little more simplified form. So we have a 6, we have these two like terms in the middle, so our 18i and 2i become positive 20i, and then plus 6i squared. Well, plus 6, now recall that I squared is -1, so we can substitute that right there. And in our denominator we have 1 minus 9. Well, we've got an I squared there. We can substitute -1. So that gives us 6 plus 20i, and then minus 6, and then 1, and then minus, that would be 1 minus -9, of course, which becomes 1 plus 9. So these cancel out, and we get 20i over 10, which simplifies to 2i, and that's our final answer. So that is a quick description of how to rationalize your denominators when you're working with complex numbers. As always, thanks for watching.